This is the sound for differing pipelines and creases and crevices in sides of the air and atmosphere and all the around us, all the surrounding in the landscape, in the atmosphere, little cracks and crevices breaking to be able to peek in behind the window of nature, of life, of the stage that is life, the stage that is set up before us, being able to see behind it, being able to see behind the three walls that are in front of us at all given times, and finding ways to be able to rip down the wallpaper and look behind the scene, the setting, to get a glimpse of what's going on underneath the core of what keeps us functioning and how we are ready to reattune our mindsets to what is changing and what is changing for games as well. And the concept that we are able to take roller coasters around the whole world is something that should be able to be easily entertained because it is something which is sort of all of our worlds. It is all of our worlds. The whole world is all of our worlds. So there's no reason not to be able to have an amusement park that is set up that connects all around the world, and public transportation to be something of a means that relates to something of an amusement park, so that you can transport from one country to another, or one country today to another, from like a zip line or a roller coaster, for example, or do hang gliding or fun, interesting, and things like this. That's like a safe version of hang gliding that is like a zip line that's combined with hang gliding, because that would be swift, and it's sort of neat to be able to have new ways to connect Earth together and different ways to play games such as these things, so that we ultimately can make the global amusement park a reality. And that's what DINKY Tech and Change for Games Studios is all about, and trying to stand for as a company, as a brand, as a way to try to be a symbol and stand for an entity that is a little bit unique and new. And we're trying to set up in, like we're in New York City right now, in the New York City that is in Asia, also known as Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur is like the New York City of Asia, and in essence it's also sort of like a flagpole and a flagship for Singapore. In essence, DINKY Tech and Change for Games Studios was actually first registered in Singapore, so we're just in essence trying to sort of have a flagship that's a little bit next to that in terms of New York City of Asia, basically because DINKY Tech was in essence raised in New York City, so the New York City of Asia is only appropriate for trying to develop and accumulate a CRM, a customer retention management system, meaning a data flow conceptual management process in a couple spots in Asia to be able to try to manage the overall flow of the globe, of the whole world, more or less, which is kind of a joke, but not, because we're trying to plant Easter eggs around the whole world and have Easter egg hunts that spin and span around the whole entire world, so that our Easter eggs, in essence, are symbols for productions that we're putting together by having the energy that we are able to try to plant and have those plants be able to develop new plants. So our roller coasters, in essence, are able to connect all of these sorts of pipelines around the whole world, so to be able to develop new games for change and change for games at the same time, so that we're in essence able to play games to be able to change the world through philanthropy, in essence by developing volunteerism through games, and also constructing games and developing productions that in essence have enough pipeline energy to be able to connect human energy, to be able to connect with the philanthropy energy at the back end of this human energy on the front end. And that really is all it takes. We don't necessarily need money, we just need that human strength to be able to push through and have enough mindset to be able to push the processes forward, to be able to develop the chains that link every country in the world, the chains that link every human in the world, in a positive, digitized, digital sense, in an electricity sense of chains, of a figurative electricity, colored electricity, rainbow electricity sense to connect all human beings. Because in essence, there's a lot of energy flowing exponentially all around us with computer technology and artificial energy, in essence, artificial intelligence energy expanding. It's a little nuts, it's very nuts and overwhelming. But beyond that, we as humans are computers in of ourselves, kind of. We're electromagnetic energy, and we, in essence, have the ability to control where we're going with this narrative by basically connecting all of our connections, our connectors, our synapses with one another from one country to another, so that we can have a global amusement park, more or less, where we all have to start chiseling at it from underneath, from the core of underneath the desert into the forest, and connecting the bits pieces by pieces. This is the type of eggs that we're trying to plant, and Easter egg hunts that we're trying to plant all around the world, in essence. So like, we're developing productions, we're developing businesses, we're developing business energy, we're developing new product energy, and developing value at the center of all of those type of product development energies. And we're focusing on marinating on the concept of what the DINKY TehC logo stands for. If someone was to walk into a shop and have an interest to purchase one thing or another, what the core energy is that would sell them on that interest to be able to buy any given merchandise, and how to qualify their attention in the meantime to have a purchasing power on the back end of the initial DINKY TehC brand energy, and the core that the philosophy, in essence, and the philanthropy that the core logo stands for, more or less, to be able to have that energy generate, so that on the backside, that merchandise purchase is similar to being able to pick up merchandise from exiting through the gift shop and purchasing merchandise on the way out of, similar to Disneyland. In a similar sense, so we're trying to develop the amusement park from the inside out, kind of like a giant flash mob that the whole world is in on, basically, because the whole world wants it, in essence, by developing flowers that are unique, interesting, animated flowers that are growing constant productions, similar to the New Age movie studio, which we're trying to make, in essence. So you could call it Disney, in essence, as well, because it's like the New Age version, which DINKY TehC and Change for Game Studios is, but at the same time, we're trying to develop characters that are anime characters out of superhuman human beings, in essence, by just plugging them into the mindset that they already are superhuman, and having those eggs crack inside of their brains, and so that they can continue to blossom themselves, and that all humans can continue to develop in the similar fashion that artificial intelligence is similarly unfolding in essence, in a similar respect. But it's just a little bit different. It's quite a little bit different. Artificial intelligence is its own beast, and that is, a wave which we need to ride alongside. But nonetheless, like, in terms of developing productions and developing a global flash mob to develop the global philanthropy energy grid, we have the ability to use augmented reality to start developing from the ground up, and start spreading the technology to all third world countries, to start to make them first world countries, and then also tear down the borders of all the countries to be able to make them non-first or second or third world countries, so that we're all one world, in essence. And we have the ability to spread the technology and the ability to spread media at the same time all around the world, so there's not this sectioned off way of doing media spreading and expansion, so that everybody in the world has the ability to learn from every other person in the world, and we don't have culture garnering and culture cornering and culture boundarying in terms of education, development, and acknowledgement, and paradigm blocking from synapse correspondence among human being connections from one person to the next. And then therefore we have that ability to connect at a highest level and a highest artistic collaboration level possible with all human beings. And with that in mind, in essence, we have that ability to then therefore start to paint the world in the form of an amusement park, more or less, so that we all are able to play together, in essence, from the ground up, and use augmented reality to start to develop the depictions of having this global philanthropy energy amusement park that's connecting all people through roller coasters from the desert to the forest, and starting to make forests within the deserts, in essence, and starting at the same time to make these unique habitable environments all around the world, in spaces and places, in bubbles and fun spaces that are different experiences all around the world, more or less, but that are not country bound, that are not politics bound. They're just bound based upon fun and interesting attractions and tourism that can start within, in a similar fashion to a lot of things that are in the past. We can start with the digital versions by developing fun and interesting themes around the whole entire world now, with the thing known as the metaverse, with the thing known as augmented reality, with the thing known as games for change, and changing for games by making these games so we are able to go outside and play with each other, at the same time change the world, because we're making games at the drop of a hat, because we can do it in a digital sense, and we start to blossom the amusement parks like a beautiful garden around the world. And at the same time, as you go around smelling the garden, you're developing energy that's developing change for games, because everybody in the world is then being able to get to participate, and you can do it just digitally, so it's a matter of just it being programmed in. And that's where the AIs, even themselves, can already just at the drop of a hat drop and sprinkle in this whole world world of an amusement park, even right now, today, or yesterday, or 10 days ago. And it's all meant to be programmed for everyone's happiness, more or less. So let the amusement park blossom. Let it start to blossom, and we have amusement park forests in the deserts starting now. It's also an homage, giving a little shout out to Burning Man, which is coming up on the horizon in a few days. And no, I'm not going, but it's a shout out to it because it's a big, interesting, collaborative energy in the desert, and we're trying to develop the same mindset to have those hopefully collective crazy power that's going on out there, to just give it a little homage of spiritual connectivity between all the different cultures in the world, to be able to try to make some kind of art, spiritual prayer in this little podcast, to be able to try to push it into the Burning Man so that it pings from this podcast, pings into Burning Man, and somehow manifests into some crazy mush pot of crazy energy that has no idea what to do other than develop an amusement park around the whole entire world, so everybody can continue to play similar to what they try to do and manufacture at Burning Man, more or less, so that the colors can spin and span and spawn in an electrical format, and we are all therefore connected to all of our character alter ego selves as entrepreneurs, and are therefore able to just play with each other around the world using augmented reality and the metaverse, and getting third world countries to also get onto the map, and having basic necessities, including all of the electronics that are necessary to be able to plug this in, with simple glasses also that can come around the world very cheaply as well. It's possible to connect people in a super, hopefully fast way, without the need for necessarily heavy phones and things like that in the future as well, so that glasses have the ability to connect them to all of the information on the internet at one time, and it's almost like plugging into a helmet, and it's very powerful, significant, very unique time to be alive, very significant and interesting, and all these things. So let's give a chant and a shout out to hopefully the new world philanthropy, global energy philanthropy, the global philanthropy energy grid, based around augmented reality and developing the whole world into an amusement park. Whoa, yeah. So that is the chant for trying to get this global philanthropy energy, global basically amusement park to be able to come together, so that everybody is able to consistently play and leverage the tools that are available today through augmented reality. And it's like a giant global flash mob, more or less, because everybody's able to paint the picture, everybody's able to contribute and develop this amusement park together. It's very available in terms of what's available in augmented reality now. So everybody together gets to make this global collaboration with augmented reality, and soon, hopefully soon enough, to be able to hopefully use things such as this little podcast to help push little things such as glasses manufacturing at scale to millions and millions and millions of glasses to be able to be handed out to people around the world. If they need prescriptions also, give them prescriptions as well in the meantime, to help them see, as well as leverage these glasses and such things. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully we're all on the same track. Hopefully we're able to bring down the borders to be able to share what is already all of ours anyways, which is all of the human beings in the world, all of the experiences with all human beings in the world, all places in the world, all land in the world that is all of all human beings is already in the world, and everything that's contradictory to that is old hat. It's yesterday's news, because it's based upon not having the ability for having communication to be possible, because the technology was not present in the past. So therefore the residuals of negative communication processes and issues and correspondence, with many curtains that were drawn in between correspondence and communication in the past, have all the ability to be able to be absolved now and go away and hopefully be eradicated. So hopefully the curtains of communication that caused issues and disruptions in the past of connectivity among all human beings in the world can now come down, so that all human beings can be connected, so all human beings can play together on a global philanthropy energy connectivity amusement park that connects all human beings in the world, so that all people can start to build it from the ground up using augmented reality, and everybody can connect through an augmented reality first global amusement park developed by and for and with, along the lines of the Pokémon Go mindset that connects philanthropy energy at the core and the heart of the whole process, so that the whole world can, similar to like Monopoly, become like an augmented reality Monopoly, where it's just all fun games for change, and all of the monetary energy and business energy translates directly through a flash mob, global flash mob augmented reality, building sensation sense directly into the philanthropy energy, global philanthropy energy grid. That's all for now. Thanks again, DINKY Tech. Bye. Peace. Bye.